Teddy Morgan, could you come in here for a second?
Yes, Mr. Qualls?
You know, here at YOLO Investing, we do subscribe to random drug testing. And it is your lucky day because you have been randomly selected. If you wouldn't mind taking this and filling it up to the top and returning it to Donna in HR?
I guess so.
Individuals are experiencing this very scenario with fear and trepidation, even though our state laws allow for prescription marijuana. Hi, my name is Teddy, and today I'm going to be talking about an editorial from the New York Times, Obsolete, Zero Tolerance on Pot, which claims that the federal government and workplace are far behind on their policies regarding marijuana, and they need to catch up quickly. Now, even though I agree with the author's conclusion on this subject, I disagree with how little evidence he used to support his position relating to obsolete zero tolerance on pot. So today, I want to supply additional evidence verifying the indication that the world of business needs to catch up with state mandates, making zero tolerance on pot obsolete, better supporting this editorial. First off, I like to provide a little bit of background on the subject. According to an employee of Health Policy on Marijuana, states that documented reports of humans consuming cannabis or marijuana for medical and recreational purposes dates back over 2,000 years. So obviously, this is nothing new to us. To date, 24 states have begun to decriminalize the use of marijuana. Most states, however, have not reached a legal consensus on the issue. The workplace, on the other hand, gets a little trickier. The editorial first claims that companies have retained and enforced zero tolerance policies regarding marijuana no matter what the states have decided. The author touches only briefly on one incident between Dish Network in Denver, Colorado, and now former employee Brandon Coates, who worked as a customer service representative for Dish. After failing a random drug test in 2010, Mr. Coates was fired, even though he carried a medical marijuana card since he has been paralyzed from a car crash at age 16. To expand on this, Mr. Coates' attorney, Michael Evans, argued that the THC found in Coates' body during the drug test did not prove that he was intoxicated at work. He added that Coates never used marijuana on the job, never requested special accommodations, didn't exhibit poor performance, and never endangered the health or well-being of any person at Dish. And yet Mr. Coates was still fired. The author claims that the fear amongst the workplace of having employees that smoke is unfounded. The author found that marijuana is much less addictive than alcohol and is less likely to cause antisocial or destructive behavior. There is no evidence that marijuana smokers are less focused on their job than casual drinkers. But because medical marijuana is still unlawful to possess or consume under federal law, neither state nor federal disability laws require employers to accommodate the use of illegal drugs at work or at home, stated by the Oregon government. And according to Mary Swinton, an employee for the Inside Counsel Summit Professional Networks, employment lawyers are advising clients that the law do not require substantive changes in corporate policies because marijuana is still banned under federal law. Some workplaces have even made their policies more rigorous. In fact, according to Steve Robb of the Denver Post, 1 in 5 Colorado employers reported implementing more stringent drug testing policies. Only 2% of responding companies said they have relaxed their testing for marijuana, and 71% reported no changes in screening since legalization. The author asks a very comical yet legitimate question. Would these same companies forbid their employers from drinking a beer at home while watching a Cowboys game or from having a glass of wine with their hubby? From these observations, they would if they could. The editorial also claims the clash between the law and workplace shows the importance of ending the federal government's ban on marijuana. The Drug Policy Alliance says, legalization and regulating marijuana will not only bring the nation's largest cash crop under the rule of law, creating jobs and economic opportunities, will also preserve scarce law enforcement resources while reducing corrections and court costs. State and local governments would acquire significant new resources of tax revenue from regulating marijuana sales. To sum up all the information I've just told you, the author of the editorial Obsolete, Zero Tolerance on Pot was correct in his position regarding marijuana in the workplace. The editorial just needed a bit more information. Companies have disregarded the state's decision on marijuana and made their policies more severe out of fear of having high employees at work or because the federal government is breathing down their necks. Lastly, legalizing marijuana will do so much more for the state and local governments, while creating the nation's largest cash crop under the rule of law. But that is a whole nother controversy.
Well, before I do this, you should know that I have a prescribed medical marijuana by my doctor.
Well, since you're an upstanding employee and you come to work on time, sober and alert, this will have no effect on the outcome of those test results.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Qualls. Now see, how hard was that? Yes, Mr. Qualls?
As you know, here at YOLO Investing, we do subscribe to random drug testing. You gotta stop.
Qualls, dang it.
I'll say Qualls. Or you could say Qualls under your breath.